All right, good morning, good afternoon. I hope you're doing well. Welcome to the New York session. Today is Thursday, 23rd of August, 2025. Let's look at the market as we have give me 1 second. Let me okay, so if we look at the dollar index, we are still on course towards the 99.56 level. Nothing has really changed for me in terms of the upside objective. Hence, I'm still expecting the dollar index to go up. So I've not changed my bias. Everything's still the same. So 99.56 is the upside objective. Actually, today will be a very crucial day because we're going to be closing above the 99.07 level, which is the fair value gap over here. So we're going to be expecting price to reach for 99.56 level. On the lower time frame, we've gone through all this move to the downside that happened yesterday. I think most people thought that yesterday's move was a break of structure. Most people thought that this was a break of structure for price to go down, but I didn't. I think because of the high time frame, you're still expecting higher prices. On the H4, you can see we've come back above this up candle prior to the move down, took out this low, created a fair value gap, rejected. So maybe for today they're gonna reach for this fair value gap over here, which comes in at 99.20 to 99.24. Okay, so price is gonna reach for those upside objectives, and with that will come with euro actually going down to the level that I gave, which was I think last Friday, that they were gonna come for this equal low. So personally, nothing has really changed for me. I'm still expecting downside objective for this equal low. In terms of trade ideas, I think we do have an up candle here, this one, and they did run it above that high and rejected during the landing. So if we drop down, that will give us a nice impulse leg. So if you were to pull back, then you can sell somewhere here, and then you expect price to continue going down. Okay, so you're selling maybe just this high. The idea is you're just selling the pullback. Okay, at least 50%, and then you expect price to continue going down. Okay, so that is that for the euro. On the British pound, same thing. I'm expecting lower prices to continue going down to here. In terms of trade ideas, I think we've moved away significantly from this high to this low. That was a nice pullback, and then we rejected. During the kill zone, we went down. If anything, then maybe this fair value gap, they might pull back to it, or that one. Any of that is good for a sell. So during the New York session, if we see price pulling back, you can use any of these two fair value gaps for a trade entry, and then price will continue going down because we have the dollar index, which is disposed to go up. So let's carry on. Euro pound. So euro pound too is still bullish. I've still not switched my bias. Yesterday we had a sharp move to the upside in the morning, breaking structure. This was just a pullback, and you can see they've accumulated and then going back up. Over here they've taken out the New York session low and rejected. So watch this up candle. Once we break it, that will give you a nice order block, probably on the H4. Okay, once we break it, it'll give you a nice order block on the H4, and you can use that as a trade entry for a continuation to the upside. So the euro pound is also a good pair for a potential setup later today. The time is 2 p.m. so when it's 2 p.m, come back and see if this was able to trade through that, and then you can basically use it for an entry. The next one is gold. So gold, I think we've dropped significantly over the course of the last 3-4 days, and I believe probably they might come for the previous week low. That is what I'm thinking. And the reason being, if you go into the weekly, we have this candle just piercing through the previous week high, just maybe by a pip or two, and then price rejected immediately. And so far, like I said, price moved because it wants to seek liquidity. So the only liquidity here is that previous week low, which is roughly at that 4,000 level. All right, so that will be somewhere here. Okay, roughly that area. So I want to see them take out that one and then reject, because that's a fair value gap over on the weekly time frame. So I think I did warn that, the weekly candle has been going up for a long time. Therefore, they might print one down candle. They might print one down candle to reaccumulate and then continue going up, or maybe two down candles. Who knows? But one is definitely for sure. And I think they might do that with this week. So if you are bullish, probably sit on the sidelines and wait for the bears to actually take control. And then next week we will see how price is gonna move. We still have Friday to go anyway, but Fridays are dangerous days for trading. I don't like trading on Fridays unless it's so obvious, and right now we don't have any obvious thing on gold. The only thing that I think should happen is for them to come for the previous week low, and then we will see if they're gonna reject or not. Okay, so plan of action today, if possible, sell towards 4,000. Okay, towards the previous week low. That would be the preferred action for today. Crude oil, crazy move. I think they are trying to reach for this area here. They're trying to reach for that area, which is a pullback, because we have this high being taken and then price went down. So this is a really nice setup for a sell going into maybe next week, because we have a bearish range. This is a pullback, so price will definitely want to come back down, unless this is a big unless I'm wrong and this is going to reverse, then price will print a candle and then break this high, okay, and then break this high. But per my experience, we are not ready to be going up yet on this pair. Price usually goes up during January, February, March. Therefore, I think this is still a pullback and price will resume going down. So this is, to me, setting up a nice potential swing trade to the downside. Okay, it's setting up a nice potential swing trade to the downside. So the area to be paying attention to now is, let me go onto the weekly over here and draw that line one more time. Right somewhere in here, that 70.5 area. Okay, right here. Okay, now if you do have which is entirely up to you, if you have a bigger account, then this is what I'll do. There you go. So if you have a bigger account, then this is what I'll do for that continuation to the downside. I'll sell short here and then leave my stop loss just above that, and then expect price to go down. Obviously, you can take some day trades as price goes down. You can take some scalps as price goes down. It's entirely up to you. So I'm waiting patiently for price to get up there, and then I'll look for potential trade ideas. Now, it doesn't mean as soon as price gets up there, I'm gonna sell short. That's not what I'm gonna do. But rather, as soon as we get there, I'll start watching and waiting to see if price is gonna give me a confirmation. Okay, I'm gonna be waiting, and I would like to see if price will give me a confirmation. Once I get that confirmation, that is when I'll look for the trade. Okay, so I'm not expecting you to sell short straight away. You can if you want to. Personally, I would like to wait for confirmation. So when price gets here, I want to see at least a previous day's high rejecting, or a previous week high rejecting, or a fair value gap being created to the downside, and that is when I will engage with price one more time to the downside. If I don't get that, I will not execute anything, because as far as I'm concerned, price can continue going up. Okay, so that is that for the crude oil market. Let's go to ES. So ES, I think I'm still bullish. I haven't changed my bias. I'm expecting price to continue going up. On a daily, this to me is a pullback, and then we expect price to go back up again. The fact that they traded through that fair value gap to me signifies bullishness. So this is a pullback, we will go back up again. If we lose that, then there is a problem. So yeah, that is the narrative on the ES, looking for buy to go up and then up here. Okay, so now let's move on to the crypto market and then see what the crypto has for us. Starting with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has, well, I don't know, moved into probably a consolidation, but like I mentioned, right, we're supposed to be going up. So for whatever reason, price needs to find a low. Because of the rejection, price needs to find a low. That is why it's struggling to go down. But I'm bullish on Bitcoin, where I want to see price now trade back above the gap. Okay, so I want to see price trade back above the gap. Once we do that, then obviously I'll look for potential long ideas. Okay, so what I mean by is price needs to trade back above this gap, because they did here, traded it below. Now we want to go back above it. Once we do, then we start expecting higher prices on Bitcoin. All right, now if that happens, then Ethereum is gonna jump on board and it's gonna also resume its uptrend. Solana is gonna do the same thing. Ripple is gonna do the same thing. Hype, not quite sure, because Hype is already flying. Okay. Like I said, they've all retraced to a discount. So right now, it's supposed to be pushing higher. Okay. So based on what I gave on Bitcoin, you can translate it into the lower time frame. If you prefer trading the lower time frame, you can transfer them to the lower time frame and then take your trade on the lower time frame. Okay. AI16Z, the gap couldn't hold, but I don't think it's supposed to be coming all the way down here. So it's either we are going to accumulate in here, or who knows, they could come all the way back down then again. But the probability is so slim that I think we might be going up from here. Okay, so again, patience. If you're already in, no problem, but if you're not, sit on hands and wait. And then finally, Tatsuki is showing some strength, but I think I marked this area. We need price to be able to breach it. If we breach it, then we are going higher. If we don't breach it, then there's no going higher. Okay, so Tatsuki, we're expecting this H4 order block to give up. Once that gives way, we have a huge void over here that would need to be filled somewhere up there. Okay, so Tatsuki, wait for this up candle to break, and then you are long to clear all the sellers in here. Okay, so that is pretty much it. Another pair that I spoke about yesterday was this. I said that somewhere here, if they find support, then they'll find support, resistance, support. So they'll find support inside that area and then continue going up, and they've done it amazingly. Okay, so I'm still bullish. 153.27 is my upside objective on dollar yen, and ultimately I want to see them go to 1. I want to find the actual level. Okay, So the actual level is 154.77. That is where I think price is going. And like I also mentioned that seasonally speaking, this is a good pair to be looking out for. There are other yen pairs that you can actually tune in into as well. We have the AUD JPY. Oops. AUD JPY. That is also bullish. You can see on the daily they've taken out this low, rejecting and going up. You also have New Zealand JPY. That is also going up. They've taken liquidity and rejecting. We have GBP JPY, right? That's also going up. We had a nice impulse retracement. So you can look at all the yen pairs and then you select your favorite, because I think all the yen pairs will be going up. So you select your favorite. I think New Zealand CAD, which I've not actually looked at this year. Let me see if it has any signs of a potential seasonal buy. It doesn't look like it for me. I don't like it, so I'm gonna leave that. But usually in about this time of the year, you do get the New Zealand CAD to be bullish, but it seems like not this year, so I'm gonna leave that alone and then stick with the dollar yen. You can also add other yen pairs if you want to. All right. Okay, so that's pretty much all I have for you for this morning. I will see you same time tomorrow for another session. If you have any question, I think next time I'll take some questions. You can prepare your questions and then come. When you come, then you leave me your questions and I'll answer them for you. Okay, so have a wonderful day and I'll see you soon.